Welcome back. You're tuned into Editors Roundtable. Well, all through the show, we have been talking about the faith that you have shown in the equity markets, and also you all made a valid point, Madhu as well as Sunil, at the start of the show, that promoters now have realized that how important it is to keep their books clean and do the right thing, because these markets otherwise will teach you a lesson that you'll never forget. Either they'll make you a lot of money or they'll do that. The turnaround stories, they have been very, very interesting. Many people, retail have participated as well. So tell us about a few of those names that have done well as well. And are there more such turnaround themes that you're looking at in the time to come with due disclosures as well?
Obviously, this is not a recommendation to buy, and we are just discussing for an educational purpose. This year, one theme which has really worked out, because the base of retail investors is so high that the money is available, not only for really good corporate, for good businesses who are into stress also, right? So in recent times, if you look at, one of the biggest turnaround which I have seen is in Suzlon,
Yes. Yeah.
right? In the last 12 months, they have raised 3,200 crores. First 1,200 crore rupees of rights issue, and then 2,000 crore rupees of QIP. In spite of that, first raise that happened at 5 rupees, last happened at 17 rupees, and the price is today 40 rupees.
Yeah.
So company is now 50,000 crore market cap. A company which was really in stress, that bankers had converted loan into equity. But why was this possible? This turnaround was also possible because of the market.
Yes.
If they had not got that capital, I think it will still take them few years to be in the health which they are today.
Right.
So in a way, it is a virtuous cycle. If the market does really well, a lot of companies where the capital is a problem, those people are able to access capital because of the market move. And this story is not one. You will find like dozens of them, able to raise capital and recapitalize the balance sheet. People who had got excessive debt, like talk of Inox Wind. And they've also raised close to 2,000 crores now between the IPO and 2 rounds of QIP. So I think this money being available in the market is also in a way helping these companies to turn around faster than what they would have taken time.
Are there any common characteristics when the famous saying that turnarounds rarely turn, but they have turned? I mean, there are so many examples, and we have graphics up on air as we speak. Sunil, are there any common characteristics?
So see, one is you need to have a genuine business, a genuine business which is scalable and which was not able to scale up because of constraints. Constraints not in terms of capacity, constraints in terms of capital available, and constraints in terms of even debt available. And obviously the business opportunities also changed. So the two examples which Madhu gave, there the business opportunity itself has become 5-10x.
The industry was doing very well.
Which was not the case last 2-3 years, because there were some regulation changes where solar started getting preferred over wind and so on and so forth. Now, the policy is a composite policy. You just can't have solar, you need to have a combination of other renewables also. At the same time, they were constrained, not because of capacity. Capacity was there, but because of working capital, because of other modes of capital. I think that is definitely one characteristic. The other thing is, the intent from promoter is the most important. Because you just don't want the promoters to raise capital on hope. Here, there was a clear plan that this is the capital which is needed to. Investors were very, clear that we want to monitor where this fundraise is going to. So I think there was a lot of discipline also. So I think there are characteristics. See, every turnaround might not work out, but if you have basics in place, there is more than enough possibility that they might work out.
Are these turnaround stories sector agnostic, or are they emerging from certain sectors which are supported by the external environment?
So, Ekta, see, turnarounds will normally happen in sectors which are little capital intensive. Because the fact that they went belly up was because their debt equity, there was a mismatch, the huge interest cost came into being. So typically these will be sectors where there is a little bit of more requirement of capital. Because, turnaround, if you're banking on infusion of capital to turn them around, obviously they have to have capital intensive. Like there won't be a turnaround story in a consumer product, for example.
I will also make one point. A lot of these turnarounds are not happening only because the markets are providing them capital. It's also happening because the business conditions for a lot of these companies have improved meaningfully. Like you take, for example, JSPL. It had a more than 50,000 crore debt in 2018, and it is now virtually debt-free.
Yes.
Virtually debt-free. and they have not raised any meaningful capital from the market. So there are lots of examples like that where, like all the EPC companies, you look at the balance sheet of all of them in between 2008 and 2018, and you look at a lot of the balance sheet, how dramatically they have improved. Not many of them have raised capital. So I think it's also a combination of businesses actually doing well, respect for equity, which I will emphasize again in majority of the promoters, and also market helping wherever it is required.
One additional thing, I think promoters have also become dispassionate. They know that if they let go one portion of the business, at least some portion will survive, which is very different.
Yeah.
You know, promoters love their businesses. Earlier there was resistance of getting out of anything. Now, you know, few companies have also turned around because they were able to use the proceeds of selling one part of the business to at least ensure that the other survive. And we have multiple examples even there.
Okay, all right.
One last point. Well, before him, because again very important, a lot of wealth has also got created because of the change in the management itself. Right? People like CG Power. What happened, you know, if it was a real stress case, but the really good manager came. And there's not one, there are really lot of examples which are, that is also added to a lot of overall turnaround in the corporate sector.
Okay, all right. On that positive note, Madhu as well as Sunil, wish you a very happy Diwali, and I'm sure we're going to interact with you for the next entire year. It's a wrap from all of us on this Diwali special of Editors Roundtable. Thank you very much for watching.